Yellow Productions presents
the Southern Ridges Hiking Trail in Singapore. This hiking trail is one of the most unique hiking trails I think you'll ever go on. Singapore is a modern, clean city, and this hiking trail is no exception because much of it is actually like this. Elevated trail above the treetops. It has to cost a fortune, and it's pretty neat to walk around and enjoy. The Southern Ridges hike connects a number of different Singapore trails, about 9 kilometers total. If you start from the Harbourfront MRT and end at the Kent Park MRT, it should take you about 2.5 hours. But you might want to allocate a little more than that because there are lots of neat side areas and beautiful views to enjoy on the hike. So this trail isn't really that difficult in terms of walking difficulty because it's mostly paved or staircases, but it is difficult in terms of the heat. You'll want to come either in the early morning or late evening because Singapore is hot. Make sure you bring plenty of water, you bring sunglasses, sunscreen, and a hat, especially if you're going to be walking in the daytime. Singapore is a very safe country, and they put up signs to let you know that on this hiking trail, trees and branches may fall. So please take care. Maybe next time, instead of a visor, I should bring a hard hat. Throughout the hiking trail, there are signs to let you know what not to do when you encounter wild monkeys. First of all, do not feed them. You could be fined up to $5,000. Do not carry plastic bags because monkeys associate plastic bags with food. Don't use flash photography, and finally, don't go near them. They might bite you. Stay safe. Also, please be considerate. Keep your dog leashed and pick up your dog's poo. Gross. You don't have to worry about getting lost in the rainforest here because there are tons of maps wherever you go. Maps of the small section of the trail you're in, and then larger maps to show you overall where you are on the Southern Ridges Walk. To begin the hike, take the MRT to the Harbourfront station, go out exit D, and then you will see signs that say Marang Trail. Follow those signs, begin the hike. There's even little painted feet on the sidewalk to let you know this is where to walk. Once you get out of the MRT, you will be here. The hike begins with this walk up the Marang Trail, which you're going to go up a bunch of steps up to the top of a hill to where the Sentosa cable car goes from. The good news, though, about this trail is that because Singapore has lots of trees, it's actually a bit shady when you go up these stairs. Usually hikes that I've been on are peaceful and quiet, but this hike in Singapore, because it's in the rainforest, is actually kind of noisy. Just listen to that background noise of the crickets and other creatures in the forest. This is about as far removed from a real hiking trail as you can possibly get, because the entire trail is either paved or manufactured, like this. Frankly, I like it. Once you make it to the top of the Marang Trail, you'll be in Faber Park. It's more flat from here, as you'll be walking at the top of the ridge towards the cable car.
Once you're at the top of Faber Park, stop and admire some of the excellent views. From here, you can see the high-rises of Singapore.
After a few minutes in Faber Park, you will reach the Jewel Box, the building that the Sentosa cable car comes into. This is a great place to stop to get a drink, use the restroom, or maybe just enjoy some air conditioning. After leaving the Jewel Box, you will proceed on the Southern Ridges Trail towards Henderson Waves. You will come to a fork in the road. In case you're wondering, if you take the right fork, it is 300 meters. If you take the left fork, it is 700 meters. I will definitely be taking the right fork. Once you make it around that 300 meters, you will find the entrance of the Henderson Waves Trail with the big Henderson Waves sign. Henderson Waves, Singapore's highest pedestrian bridge, spanning 36 meters above Henderson Road. The bridge is comprised of 7 of these undulating dome things that are behind me that they call ribs. These ribs are what give the bridge its wavy appearance. They also make a cool little place to get some shade or sit down. On the other side of the bridge is also a neat little place to sit, provided it's not too sunny or too hot. As you cross Henderson Waves, there's a neat Hilltop park that has some interesting signs that tell you about the local birds. If you forgot to pack enough water on the trail, I've got good news for you because this trail has vending machines so you can get a drink while you're hiking. The vending machine had a number of teas and juices, but the most interesting thing I saw here was the Kickapoo, original USA Joy Juice recipe. At these Henderson Waves, you'll be following the trail to Forest Walk and Hilltop Walk. The signs even tell you where restrooms are and where you can ride little horsey things. If the hike and the heat wasn't enough for you, there's also a fitness course that you can do some push-ups, parallel bars, or lots of other really exhausting activities. Through the forest walk, there's this neat elevated forest walkway that takes you on an elevated walkway through the treetops of the forest. Pretty neat. I don't think I've ever been on a hiking trail like this. This is definitely a 21st century hiking trail. You can even do the forest walk with baby stroller. Now that's what I call an easy hike. But remember, it's hot. The forest walk is definitely the coolest part of the Southern Ridges Trail, in my opinion. Because where else are you going to find such cool elevated walkways? And to keep you away from the bugs and the snakes. Forest Trail is a pretty long section as well. It's about a 20-minute walk from the beginning to the end to this neat elevated trail. One thing about the forest walk, though, is you can always see high-rise buildings, so you know that you're not really ever that far from humanity.
After the forest walk, you will cross the Alexandra Bridge, which is a big white arch that is supposed to resemble a leaf.
After the Alexandra Bridge begins the Floral Walk, a welcoming gateway to Hort Park made up of plants that produce flowers. Along the path in Hort Park, there are lots of these little themed gardens. This one is the Plant Introduction Garden. This is the Community Garden, where people from the community can grow their plants.
At the end of the path in Hort Park, you will reach a very unfriendly gate. Good news, just turn left and you will walk up the hill towards Kent Park and the Canopy Walk.
After walking up a slight incline, there will be another section of raised walkway, like in the forest walk. This one is known as the Canopy Walk. And from the Canopy Walk, there are some great views of the gardens below. The path in Kent Park is lined with trees, which is nice because it takes you out of the scorching sun. The Hort Park section previously slightly warm because there was no tree cover. From the lookouts at Kent Ridge Park, you can see Singapore's working harbor. Here, they're building a new cargo unloading facility. Once you're at Kent Ridge Park, you'll see a sign like this that says, "You are here to turn right to the pond," and that's how you can turn right to go down this hill to then go to the pond and then catch the bus to the Kent Ridge MRT. This begins your descent. It's all downhill from here. You'll know you're on the right track once you pass by the pond. And this pond is special because it has over 24 species of dragonflies. So stop by and admire the interesting dragonflies. Apparently, in addition to dragonflies, there are also fish in the pond. From the big pond, hang a right, walk down this path, then up a little set of stairs, and then you can catch bus 92 to the Kent Ridge MRT station. Unless it's a Sunday or a public holiday, in that case, you're going to be walking about another kilometer to the station. And finally, after just about 3 hours at a brisk pace, you will reach the Kent Ridge MRT station, your oasis to air conditioning and civilization once again.
Planning a trip to Singapore? Check out my Singapore travel guide, there in the upper right.
Thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe.